The UK has announced two major changes to its migration system, and these updates could affect millions of people living in the country. The biggest shift is the introduction of a new 10-year settlement plan, which completely reshapes how and when migrants can qualify for indefinite leave to remain, commonly known as ILR. Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood has outlined these proposals in detail, and they mark one of the most significant immigration policy updates in recent years. For many migrants, especially those who arrived after 2021, these changes could redefine their long-term future in the UK. In this update, we break down everything you need to know, including how benefit usage could slow down your ILR timeline, who qualifies for faster settlement, and how the UK's approach compares to other strict European models like Denmark. Let's start with the new 10-year settlement route. Currently, most migrants qualify for ILR after 5 years of lawful residence. The proposed change doubles this, increasing the standard requirement to 10 years. This alone is expected to affect around 2.6 million migrants who entered the UK between 2021 and 2024. For them, the journey to permanent residency is now much longer, meaning long-term plans like buying a home, starting a business, or securing long-term employment could require more patience and planning. The government argues that a longer pathway encourages stronger integration and ensures that those settling in the country are contributing consistently over a longer period. Another major part of the reform focuses on how benefit usage affects your ILR timeline. Under the new model, settlement is tied more directly to personal responsibility and economic contribution. If a migrant has used less than 12 months of benefits, their ILR timeline could increase from the standard 10 years to 15 years. But if benefits have been claimed for more than 12 months, the settlement route could stretch up to 20 years. The message from the government is clear: long-term settlement is meant for those who work, contribute, and support themselves as much as possible. Supporters of the policy believe it encourages financial independence, while critics argue it unfairly targets low-income families, who may need short-term help despite working hard. This part of the reform is already receiving strong reactions from immigration advisors, migrant groups, and legal experts who believe it may create long-term barriers rather than incentives. However, not every group is impacted in the same way. The government has also introduced faster settlement routes for certain high-value contributors. NHS workers, for example, may benefit from a reduced ILR timeline, acknowledging the essential role they play in the country's healthcare system. Entrepreneurs, innovators, and other high-value migrants may also qualify for settlement credits that shorten the pathway. These credits are meant to reward skills, economic investment, and public service. The idea is to strike a balance. While the general population faces stricter requirements, those who bring critical value to the UK can still secure residency more quickly. The model also reflects a shift toward the type of system used in countries like Denmark. The UK is deliberately adopting elements of Denmark's tougher, contribution-focused approach, which places strict conditions on settlement, language ability, financial stability, and self-sufficiency. Denmark's model has been widely debated for years, and now the UK seems to be moving in the same direction. However, critics argue that the UK's social and economic landscape is very different, and that copying Denmark may lead to unintended consequences. They believe the UK needs a more balanced and flexible system that considers the reality of its large migrant workforce, diverse communities, and strong economic dependence on international talent. Alongside settlement changes, the UK is planning adjustments to its asylum system as well. One of the major proposals is the introduction of temporary protection, which means asylum status could be reviewed every 2.5 years. If the Home Office believes a person's home country has become safe, they could be required to return. This change increases administrative work for the government and adds uncertainty for asylum seekers who may have spent years building their life in the UK. Refugee support organizations have raised concerns that this may cause instability for vulnerable families and make long-term integration harder. Overall, these new policies show a clear direction from the government: tighter migration controls, stricter settlement rules, and a stronger focus on rewarding economic contribution. Supporters say this will create a fairer and more sustainable system. Critics argue it could make life harder for hardworking migrants and put additional pressure on families who are already trying to settle and integrate. For anyone living in the UK on a visa, understanding these changes is crucial. The path to ILR may now be longer, more complex, and more dependent on personal financial history. Planning ahead, staying informed, and keeping track of any benefit usage is more important than ever. If you want deeper analysis or extended details on these changes, the full article is available on our website through the link in the description. This brings us to the end of today's update. Let us know what you think about these reforms and how they might impact you or your community. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, keep supporting the channel, and thank you for watching.